But here's how it seems to me. There was a certain businessman of great attainment. He's cut down by the grog. He runs the gamut of treatments in this country. And this would be in the year about 1932, when he was just about at the end of his tether. So he went abroad and became a patient of Dr. Carl Jung. And as all of you know, Jung was one of the founding fathers of the art, I prefer that instead of science, of psychiatry. And Jung, Adler, Freud were the three founding fathers. But of these, only Jung seemed to think that man is something more than $2 worth of chemicals, a bundle of instincts, and an uncertain intellect. So, our traveler had found a truly great human being. Great indeed, as events fell out. He placed himself under that dear man's tutelage for a whole year, becoming more and more confident that the hidden springs of this baleful compulsion to drink were being understood and removed and cast away. He began to feel more free. There was no drinking while he was under treatment. At the end of the year, he left Carl Jung, and in 1 month he was tight. And the bender was terrific. So, in infinite despair, he came back to Carl Jung and said, "Is there anything now for me? You were my court of last resort." And this great man said, "Roland, I thought for a time after you first came that you might be one of those rare cases in which my art has been helpful. Otherwise, I should not have encouraged you to stay. But alas, I'm obliged to conclude that you are not, and that there is nothing that I have to offer you. My art has failed you. I need not say that coming from a man of his eminence, this was a statement of beautiful humility. And the whole destiny of AA, you and me, and all of us, has since hung on that sentence. So then Hazard found that agony was added to despair. And he cried out, "But is there nothing else?" And this was the answer he got. "Roland, time out of mind, alcoholics have recovered here and there, now and then, through religious experiences, spiritual experiences, let us say, are very truly through conversion. A naughty word for us A's. We don't use it for obvious reasons. But, said the doctor, this benign lightning seldom strikes. And no one can say where or when it will, or for the resuscitation of who. So I simply would advise you to place yourself in a religious atmosphere, remembering the hopelessness of your doing anything about it on your own remaining resources alone, and cooperating with your associates and casting yourself upon whatever God there may be. So Roland aligned himself with the Oxford groups of that time, a rather evangelical movement, rather aggressive. Very easy it is to criticize. It was non-denominational, however, and it used simple common denominators of religions, simple moral principles. It called upon its members to admit that they could not solve the life problem on their own. It called upon them for self-examination. It called upon them for restitution. It called upon them for a kind of giving in the Franciscan manner, the kind of giving that demands no return in money, power, prestige, and the like. The losing of oneself in the lives of others. Such was the nature of the crowd with which he became associated. Unaccountably to him, the obsession to drink left. And for some years, he had no more trouble. At the time in the groups, there were a few alcoholics sober. There is one now at Ann Arbor that goes back to that time. An old friend who never became an AA. Sobered up in the Oxford groups. So Roland returned to America, and the groups here in those days were headed by an Episcopal clergyman called Sam Shoemaker. And in his congregation and among the groups were two or three other alcoholics that for the nonce were staying dry. And Hazard had a summer place near Bennington, Vermont. And these friends, one of them son of a local judge, and himself an alcoholic, described the plight of a boy who was a school time chum of mine, Ebby Thatcher. And Ebby had been deteriorating horribly. There were summer folks in the town above Manchester. Ebby had run his car into the side of the farmer's house, pushed the wall of the kitchen in. The door could still be open to the car. Ebby stuck his head out, and to the poor woman cowering in the corner who hadn't been hit, he said, "Hey, what about a cup of coffee?" Well, the town fathers had it. They were going to commit Ebby for alcoholic insanity. So the judge's son and Hazard picked up the man who was to become my sponsor.